Hey y'all, so I have mentioned in a couple of my videos that I make my own vinegar. Now there's more than one way to make vinegar. There's a process that takes longer, months in fact. There's a process that can take weeks. You can make fruit vinegars, etc. So one of the ways that I make vinegar is I make a wine vinegar. Now, regardless of how you obtain the wine, whether it's leftover wine, which I know is a foreign concept for some of you, or you buy the wine or someone gives you some wine and you don't know what to do with it, whether you don't drink or whatever, there's still a use for this wine. My son worked at a winery and tells me that, like it's no good after a couple of days after it's been opened or whatever. I'm like, oh, really? So anyway, still tastes like wine to me. So the first method I'm going to show you is just taking your leftover wine. You're going to take a jar just like this. Going to pour the wine into the jar. You can't see it, but trust me, I'm pouring the wine into the jar. You're going to take some cheesecloth, just like this. Let me move the camera down so you can see. Can't really. There we go. Okay, so take the cheesecloth and put it over the top and put a rubber band on it, just like this. And then you're going to sit it in a cool, dark place. And we're going to use a pH meter to test the pH. And we're looking for a pH between 2.5 and 5. So every week I'm going to check this. So for the first couple of weeks, I am going to stir this. Just going to take the cheesecloth off and stir it. And it won't be until about week 2 that I start testing it with my pH meter. So this is method 1. It is July 5th, and I will let y'all know how long it takes just doing it this way, just doing it naturally. So I'm going to mark this jar as July 5th, and then we'll kind of keep track of how long it takes for this one to turn into vinegar. But I wanted y'all to see that this is the simplest way to make your own wine vinegar, which I use for cooking or to make vinaigrette type salad dressing. It's really good. But anyway, we're gonna get the fermentation process started by taking this back into my kitchen and putting it under the cabinet. So we'll move on to the second method tomorrow. For those of you wondering what kind of wine I'm using, it's Mama Rosa Tribute to Motherhood Naturally Sweet Rosé. It's from Messina Hoff, which is a Texas wine. So that's the kind that I am using for this vinegar. And you can use red vinegar, white vinegar. This is a rosé. Anyway, you can use any of the different wines to make your vinegar. Okay, so I showed you the other day the simplest, cheapest way to make red wine vinegar. Today, I'm going to show you a better way. I'm using what was a sauerkraut jar, but you can use any kind of jar that you can put either the cheesecloth or a coffee filter on. I have a rubber band. Now, in this time, I'm using something called Josh Pinot Grigio, California, Josh Cellars. Says it has flavors of melon and citrus and a hint of juicy pear. I don't remember what this one tastes like. I can smell the pear. So anyway, In this case, obviously, this one's not a red wine. We're going to do 1 cup of wine. Every cup of wine that you have is going to have 3 tablespoons of the Bragg's Apple Cider Vinegar with the mother. So this was almost 3 cups of wine left in here. Here is the Bragg's Apple Cider Vinegar with the mother. You can also go to one of those wine beer making places or to Amazon and order a mother. It's just like when you're making sourdough bread, you have to have a starter. Well, you need a starter for this too. So like I said, for every cup of vinegar, you're going to do 3 tablespoons of the apple cider vinegar. So we're going to need 3, 6, 7, I'm going to do 8. So that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This speeds up the process a lot quicker, because if you do it the other way, the first way that I showed you, that's going to take months, or at least it does here in my climate. So now that we have the vinegar mixed with the vinegar mother mixed with the wine, I'm just going to put the coffee filter on there, and then I'm going to put the rubber band on there. And again, I would set this in a dark place in my kitchen. So that's 2 different ways of making vinegar with your leftover wines, or just buying wine at the store to make wine vinegar, which is good for salad dressings, marinades, and in other recipes. They say the word vinegar means is French for sour wine. So there's you some interesting info. I don't speak French and I don't know how to say it in French, but I'll put it up on the screen. It's Vinagre. So anyway, now I have a pH meter here, and it's fairly simple to use. You just take it, you have a little on-off button that you would push there, and you can see this bottom part here. You would hold that down in the vinegar. So let's take the one we did a week ago, because it has been a week since I did this one. So we'll put that in there, and our goal is about 2.5 to 3 on the pH scale. And currently this one is 4.8 after sitting in there. Today's the 14th, I think. It's either the 13th or the 14th. And I did this on the 5th. So yeah, it's at 4.8 pH. So since our goal is 2.5 to 3, we know this one isn't ready. I can smell that it still smells like wine anyway, so we know it's not ready. But so you don't have to have the pH meter, but I do have one, so I do use it. I'll of course take it inside and rinse it off, but anyway, so these are very easy to make. You really can't mess it up. It's going to smell like the vinegar that you're used to. It's even going to look like the vinegar that you're used to. Now, eventually these are going to form a film, and that's going to be it having its own mother. And once it's to the acidity, the acidity level or the pH level that you want, then you're going to strain it off through the cheesecloth, and you can take the mother and you can save it somewhere for another batch of vinegar, and you can keep using it over and over again. You can even share it with a friend if you want. Once I have strained my vinegar, I will take olive oil and some of the vinegar, and I will mix it with some seasonings and some minced garlic, and I make my own salad dressing that goes in this pretty little bottle that I have here. You can see that the end is, you might not be able to tell, the end is dyed red from being down in red all the time. So anyway, my bottle is empty, so it was time to make some more, which is how this video came about. So remember that it doesn't really matter which kind of wine that you use. I've had success with multiple kinds. They say if it's a higher alcohol content that you might want to water it down. But rarely have I ever come across anything that I've ever either bought or been given that was too high of an alcohol content to make vinegar with. Now, they will tell you that the sulfites are a problem, and some people get food grade hydrogen peroxide, which again you can get on Amazon or at the winemaking store, and put some of that in there, and that can help as well. But I haven't had a problem. I just do exactly like I told you, which is 1 cup of wine to 3 tablespoons of the apple cider Bragg's vinegar, and it works perfectly fine for me. So why fix what isn't broken? So anyway, I hope this video is helpful for you guys. I hope you try it. I know some of you are like, why would I want to make that? They sell it at the store, because some of us like to learn how to make things on our own. You never know when the stores are going to be without. That's another reason. We have a lot of shortages and things at the store that are just disappearing off the shelves and aren't being made, or we don't know why they're not at the store anymore, but they're no longer available. Sometimes for some people it's because it can be healthier. They want to know what's in their food. You can use organic, whatever, you know, you can take this as far as you want. We all have different reasons. But anyway, mine is because I like to do things on my own. I like to use leftover things, and I find it fun to try different things, try to see what different flavors I get from different wines. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you guys. I hope you try it. Thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe.